Alright, I guess this is a part 7 to my homebrew CNC project. If anybody's ever watching or whatever. Here's where I'm at now. I think from part 6 there's probably going to be a lot you're going to see in this one that you didn't see in that. Basically what I did is I went through and I painted all my steel frame and stuff for the machine. I did a lot of wiring. I think in my last video I did show my revamp of the cooling. And kind of what you're looking at now is I'm working on trying to figure out how to get the coolant for the cutting under control. And actually what this is here is an old washing machine that's flipped inside out. Look at the other side that you'll never see as a consumer. It's just crap finish. I have been cutting on it, messing around with it, playing with it a little bit. It's actually working pretty well. I'm going to go ahead and probably just do a pan round of it so you guys can kind of see it in a 360. Like I said, these are not mounted yet. I'm just kind of mocking them up. You can kind of tell from the 2x4s and stuff I have on here. I want it to kind of get it set up as best I can, but I've done a lot of the wiring, how it's going to be completed. I'll show you my one cabinet here where it's got all my XYZ. I got 110 up here. I got 12 volts, whatever, blah, blah, blah. All your control stuff. Again, it's all painted. And sealed tight, liquid tight, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's getting there. It's a learning process. I'll go ahead and give you, here we go, I think we're at the end here. I'll go ahead and give you a shot of the control cabinet that I ended up coming with, because I kind of wanted this all self-contained for to be semi-portable. And granted, it's on casters, and I will probably eventually put jack bolts and maybe a couple of sight bubbles on it to get it level. But right here we have the servo voltage power supply, or synchro, whatever you want to call them. I don't know what that is. It's a 48 volt or something like that. And then there's the drive. And mind you that I came out of a controls background, so all these controls are pretty much recycled. When I say controls, the high dollar stuff like the cabinet, disconnect, a bunch of those terminals, relays, blah blah blah, came out of what I used to do for a living. There's the other power supplies there. I got a 12 volt and the 5 volt that the board requires. And actually that leads me to the other thing is I went ahead and decided to scrap the I won't say proximity switches, but the limit switches, and I'm going to be running an inductive liquid tight limits on these, or proximity sensors, because I think I'm going to run into problems with the coolant bath I plan on flooding this with. So I don't know, eBay and Amazon, you can't hardly beat what they have out there for sensors and the price and stuff. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I thought I would just go ahead and give an update to anybody that may be looking at it or following it. But this is where I'm at. I'm putting on the splash guards. And to all those guys that do tin work, my hat's off to you, because this stuff is an absolute bear. It's too thin to really cut with the power. And by hand, yeah. Yeah, well, I'm married, so I got pretty strong hands. So anyway, you have any questions, any comments, please feel free to leave them. But this is Project Homebrew CNC Part 7, I believe.